Vicky from Bright Mind, and today we're going to talk about the 5 best ideas from the book Dying to Be Me. Check this out. Today I'm in a nice park in my city. Thought I'd come out on a Saturday morning. It's kind of quiet here, so it's really nice. Nice fall. And I thought it'd be a great day to show the book I just finished. It was recommended by a mindset coach, and I just find it's very interesting. The synopsis of it is the lady Anita. She has a near-death experience. She experiences source energy and just a being of complete inner peace and bliss. She grew up with having lots of disbeliefs in herself, and growing up in a culture, her culture, growing up in Indian culture, she always felt that she wasn't good enough. Being female, her culture is taught to be as a female submissive, not have many goals, not even be educated, so that when at a time they're ready to be in an arranged marriage, they're more appealing to that possible future husband. That really affected her. She said many times in her book that it made her feel disempowered and that she wasn't good enough for herself, for her family, for the world. She just wanted to be her, but she felt so stuck in her ways and in her upbringing, and she didn't know what to do. You know, when people feel like they don't have boundaries and when they're stuck, when they don't know what to do, you hold that energy in your body. And she was saying, because of all these feelings, she was actually one who did her best to eat healthy, eat the best she could, focused on just eating good. But when she was doing that, she was focusing on fear. I better do this or else I'll get this. I better do this or I'll get sick. I better do this or I'll get cancer, versus I better eat well so that I'm going to have a healthy, long life. So that's why it's always important to say things in the affirmative. And the first idea is we're all pure love. We're not only connected to everyone else and to God, but at a deeper level, we are all God. Basically, we are all energy. We're all source energy. We're all universal mind. We're all connected. We allow our fears and ego to edge God out. She also says, our lives, which has so much to do with all the disease, not only in our bodies, but in our world as well. She spoke of learning the treasures of our magnificence and live as beings of light and love, of healing properties inherent in such mindset. This is a very important idea because at the end of the day, we all human beings are brought into this earth as essence of pure love and light. We are naturally meant to be this pure love. It's just with the upbringing, with the news, with the media, with the negativity, program growing. If you're caught into that negativity and darkness, you're going to be pulled into that. One of my mentors told me that when you vibrate higher, the higher source energies try to pull you to help you and guide you to where you want to go. It's when you go dark and go into the deepness, into depression, negativity, drugs, alcohol, overeating, all these little things. It's when the darkness pulls you, and they know that they can pull you into the darkness and keep staying at a lower vibration, because the more lower a vibration you are, the more they can control you. Such a beautiful day here. So nice. Hello, trees. Hello. The next idea is when she had this experience, this near-death experience, she finally realized what her true purpose was in life. She said it heightened her awareness in that expanded the realm was undescribable. Despite her best efforts to explain it, the universe made sense, she realized. I finally understand. I know why I have cancer. I was too caught up in the wonder of the moment to dwell on the cause. Although I'd soon examined it more closely, it seems to comprehend why I'd come into this life in the first place. I knew my true purpose. And going through that, she realized that it's so fascinating. She had to go through that experience to have her true purpose. And that's a lot of the stories that I hear from people and people I've met, is they had to go through such darkness. They actually had to go through that to become the person they are meant to be. I myself experienced that too. One of my other mentors said is, you have to go through the ring of fire. But when you're going through the ring of fire, it's tough and you got to keep going. But when you're out, my goodness, the person you become, it's just amazing. The next best idea is she talks about how we're all connected. Going through this experience and going into that indescribable source realm, she said that I became aware that we're all connected. This is not only every person and living creature, but the interwoven unification felt as though it were expanding outward to include everything in the universe. Every human, animal, plant, insect, mountain, sea, inanimate object, and the cosmos. The cosmos meaning the universe. I realized the entire universe is alive, infused and with consciousness, encompassing all our life and nature. Everything belongs to an infinite whole. We're all facets of that unity. We're all one, and each of us has an effect on the collective whole. It was there that she says that it was though every moment that held infinite possibilities, and where I was at the point in time was accumulation of decisions, every choice and every thought of my entire life. Many fears and with great power had manifested as this disease. She's basically saying that all those years of fear of what people thought about her, fear about not living up to people's standards, not creating boundaries, creating all these negative energy and not living to her true potential self. That's what created the disease, because she was building it all up in her body, because your body holds energy, and if it's not cleared, just like when cars do an oil change, it's stuck energy, and it's stuck there, and if it can't, it festers and it turns into a disease. The next best idea is talking about not having a purpose or direction in life and feeling directionless. What she says here is that I discovered when my life seemed directionless, I felt lost, which still happens to her frequently. What it means is that she's lost her sense of self. She's not connected to who she truly is and what she's come here to be. This tend to happen when she stopped listening to her own internal voice, your own gut, your own inner source, and it gave her power away to external sources, such as TV commercials, newspapers, negative people, negative gossip, drama, big drug companies, some peers telling her things she can't do, cultural and social beliefs, and the like. She said previously when she felt lost, one of the things she did was to search outside for answers. She looked to books, teachers, gurus, in hopes that they would provide a solution. That's exactly what she did when she was first diagnosed with cancer. But the key here, this is one of the key, is that even though it's good to have personal development, mindset, you still have to discern, like even discern me, only follow what works and what works for you. That's what she means, discern, because right here is a key. She said, I only ended up feeling worse, even more adrift, because I was giving my own power away again and again. Because whatever that person say, it goes. She never thought about, wait a second, what should I discern from this? Discerning meaning that what can I take from this that does not work for me, but it works for them? But what can I take that works for me, but leave what doesn't? So that's a big key in this book. And that's one of the things that was eye-opening. Because myself, I love books, especially personal development. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting so involved in it and I don't go back to like what works for me. But when I start to read books like this, discern things, learn things, do what works for me, things just work out because I'm following my own tuition, I'm following my own guidance system. And that's the beauty of life, is not everything will work out for everyone. Not everyone will like the same teacher, not everyone will like the same book, but that's the beauty, is that you are going to connect with someone who does and resonates with you and does work for you. And that's the beauty of learning and having that mindset and growing your mind. She even said the story about even having this book published. She was told by many of her friends that she would not be published. It's hard to be in the publishing game. And this is after she was healed from cancer. She said, you better get an agent, you better do this. But with her, she felt like, you know what, things will work out. The universe will work things out for me. A few days later, she gets a call by himself, Wayne Dyer, spiritual personal development teacher. And Wayne Dyer tells her, hey, I heard you on a podcast and I would love to write a book with you. And he ended up writing for it. That's the thing, you can't listen to people who've never gone through it. These were friends who were never published a book, friends who were disempowering her without them realizing it, and not even realizing that they were programmed to think that they couldn't do it. So that's the thing, when you're spreading this, people don't realize sometimes they're negative. It's their upbringing, it's the way that they're programmed from news, media, society, and it's just like, you gotta snap out of it. One way to snap out of it is to watch my channel, Brighten Mind. Read positive books, listen to positive audio, hang out with positive, uplifting people. Bookmark from Berlin. The next idea is also a big one. She talks about the number one question people ask her is, how did you get cancer? The number one answer is fear. Fear stems from anxiety. Fear stems from worry. And when you have anxiety and you're worried, it's because you're fearful of something. Someone's not accepting you. You're not accepting yourself. You're not living up to other people's standards. But what I've learned from this book is to, like, you gotta live up to your own standards. You gotta set boundaries. You gotta put you first. And that's not being selfish, because when you put you first and you're assertive, not passive aggressive or aggressive, when you're assertive, people will start to pick that energy up and respect you, respect your time, respect you, respect your thoughts, respect your beliefs, because all you want to do is just like live your best life and respect their own and respect them. She realized, and this was a really good quote, we already are what we spend our lives trying to attain, but we just don't realize it. We already are what we spend our lives trying to attain, but we don't realize it. Very interesting. We come into this life knowing our magnificence. I don't know why, but the word seems to erode it as we start to grow up. This is really good too. She mentions this starts subtly at first, with anxieties such as not being liked or not being good enough. Perhaps because we took from our peers. Maybe we're of another race, too tall, too short, too fat, too thin. We want so much to fit in. I don't recall ever being encouraged to be who I really was or to be my true self. Nor was I assured that it's okay to be different. All I remember is a little niggling voice of disapproval that I was continually heard in the back of my head. So she talks about how she just never felt, growing up, she never felt she could be her true self, who she really wanted to be, which was to see and travel the world and have a great career, versus having to be like a submissive person and being that submissive person in her life. So that's the beauty of, being who you're really meant to be, is that like when you do that, you're like putting more of your love in yourself. And that's the good thing about this book. It's only when she realized she had to go through that cancer is when she had to put herself first. She set boundaries. She put herself first. She started living her true life. She started to be who she wanted to be. And that cancer, you read in the book, it just magically disappeared after a few weeks. It was like festering. It was like eat down inside. So the synopsis of this book is like, are you being your true self? Or are you trying to live up to what society's telling you to be? Are you living up to what you want to do in life? Or are people telling you what to do and how to live? Are you feeling too tall, too short, too fat, too thin? But no, like, you are perfect as you are. Just remember that. Highly recommend this book. It's such an amazing book. A lot of wake ups, but the synopsis is, be true to yourself, believe in yourself, love yourself, set those boundaries, and things will magically work out. See you on the next video.